A dragon slayer? Don't make me laugh.
Yo, what's going on here, Clash Call? Welcome back to a brand new video. Yes, Dragonic, one of the best defensive and offensive heroes in the game, part of the Ultimate 3. Let's go. Here we go. So first things first, let's jump straight.
A dragon slayer? Don't make me laugh.
Yes, here we go. His first skill, his core skill, we have his Thunder Breath. Dragonic sprays Thunder Breath to deal 140% of attack as damage to 4 random enemies and inflict Thunder Mark for 3 turns. When a target affected by Thunder Mark receives a crit, they take 100% of attack as bonus damage. Yes, so if he hits a crit, they also get hit with 100% attack as bonus for level 1. Level 2, increased damage to 180% of attack and Thunder Mark to 135% of attack. Level 3, 220% of attack and Thunder Mark damage to 150% of attack. Now moving on to Thunderous Wrath, we have Dragonic unleashes his Thunderish Power. Basic attacks deal 100% of attack as damage to all enemies in the front row. Level 2, when under Overlord, each attack taken grants 1 stack of charge. Upon reaching 3 stacks, all stacks of charge are consumed to inflict 4 lightning strikes on random enemies, each inflicting 150% of attack as damage, cannot trigger Thunder Mark. Now, you know when you're playing against Dragonic and then you hit him a few times and all of a sudden you hit that blue electrical ball? That. Yeah, it's extremely OP, and this is why he's so absolutely phenomenal in Hero Clash. Okay. Level 3, increased basic attack damage to 120% of attack and thunder damage to 200% of attack. Level 4, which is 3 red legendary relics, increased damage to 140% of attack and rage damage to 250% of attack. Jeez Louise, 250%? What? Now moving on to his next core skill, we have his Overload. Let's go. Dragonic gains Thunder Overload when attacked, increasing his crit rate by 20% and damage reduction by 10%, stacking up to 4 times. What? Are you serious? I did not know his damage reduction stacks up so much because the cap is 70% in Hero Clash. You cannot go higher than 70%. Doesn't matter if you can get 200%. The cap is 70%. Okay. Level 2. When Thunder Overload reaches 4 stacks, Dragonic converts Thunder Overload into Superload, which increases attack by 40%, crit by 100%, and damage reduction by 40% for 3 turns. Say what? This is making sense. Level 3, extend the duration of Superload for 4 turns. Whew. And then 9 legendary relics. Level 4, Overload, increase attack by 60%, crit by 100%, damage reduction by 50%, and armor penetration by 20% for 4 turns. Bruh, he's more offensive than defense simply because of Overload. Moving on to his final Thunder Mark. When launching an attack or receiving an attack, Dragonic applies a Thunder Mark on the enemy for 3 turns. When attacking enemies affected by Thunder Mark, Dragonic deals 50% attack as bonus damage. Level 2, 75% of attack. When the thunder hits, inflict a Thunder Mark. I guess they can feel the sound waves from that thunder, I guess. Level 3, increase bonus damage to 100% of attack. Cake doodles, right? Okay, so let's go into his gear skill real quick. We have his Thunderous Rampage. When Dragonic receives 8 attacks under the Overload state, he will enter the Thunder Rampage status. Thunder Rampage. Increase crit damage by 20% for 3 turns and grant charge up stacks. Cake. Level 10, increase crit damage boost in the Thunder Rampage state to 40% and damage reduction by 5%. Level 20, increase crit damage boost in the Rampage state to 60% and damage reduction to 10%. And level 30, let's go. Enter the Rampage state without taking a hit under Overload. Sweet. Increase crit damage boost in the Rampage state to 100% and damage reduction to 20%. And now, level 40. I wonder what it is. Attacks ignore 20% of the target's armor under the Overload state. That's alright. That's alright. They could have done better. Just saying, only 20%. They should just slap them like 30 or 40. Anyways, okay, here we go. Turn around, man. Oh yeah, by the way, his skin is up here to the top left, and you have the blue one, which people are used to. Then you have this one, $50, It's up to you.
A dragon slayer? Don't make me laugh.
Okay, now when it comes to runes, let's go. Now, when it comes to free-to-play runes, I 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, have two opinions. Yes, on an offensive perspective, I'm going to go with the trio Judgment, Annihilation, and then Sin. Now, this is pure offense, which I would never recommend pure offense because I think he's one of those heroes that is 50-50, depending on what you have his gear skill to and depending on what armor you have. I highly recommend doing 50-50 as in half attack and half defense. However, if you want to make him fully defensive in a free-to-play play, then I would slap on Banshee and Evolution, which is the HP where you at here. Now, with this perspective, it all comes down to what artifact you use. So, Spring Song Necklace, 100%. Okay, if you don't have that, then I wouldn't make him defensive at all. Okay. Now, what would I choose on average? I'm going with the 50-50, and you could do Apocalypse plus Evolution or Apocalypse plus Judgment if you have the Spring Song Necklace. However, I go with the paid route, which is Vital. I think Vital is absolutely phenomenal for him. Let me just slap these on real quick because right now is the Summit Clash, and I don't want my Dragonic to be naked out there, even though we're dominating the S1. Let's go. Okay, there we go. Boom. And I think Vital is beautiful for him because I have a lot of other runes for my stronger heroes. So when these came down to Dragonic, it's perfect because not only does he get to increase his attack, but he also gets HP as well. So when you slap on, let's just go to this real quick. Let's just slap it on. He's getting the Spirit Song Necklace. This is Dragonic's necklace, yo. Okay, and then secondly, I go with HP Evolution for right now. Actually, let's do this. Give him that doubles, baby. I go with Evolution because I like increasing his HP only because of Spirit Song Necklace. The longer Dragonic lasts, the more he's going to get charged up, the more he's going to drop those lightning bolts on people. The lightning ball, and they're extremely OP. I'm talking 5-10 million damage a person. So it's extremely pertinent that you do 50-50 in my personal opinion if you have the Spirit Song Necklace. Now, if you don't have it, I feel bad for you. I really do. However, if you don't have it, let's move on to Esper. What would I choose for him? I'm going to have to go with Icy. I think Icy is the move 100% for him if this is not on Alvarez. Now, if it's on Alvarez, then, ooh, man, that's a hard one. The only option would be Lava or Shiny. You could go with Shiny because you get the attack at the end of each round, plus 20% when there's less than 4 enemies. You get the armor and armor penetration. Not too bad. Ooh, man. Yikes. I'm happy I don't have to make the decision because that is extremely hard. Holy Praise, you already know the only option is Spirit Song. However, if you don't have Spirit Song, dude, I feel bad for you. I really do. I would probably slap on. You could go with Sacred Splendor because each action increases attack value. So he has so many actions going on, you might as well increase his attack, you know? Or from a half defense, you could put on Eternal Cloak. But like I said, I'm happy I don't gotta make that selection because I got the Spirit Song, baby. I'm moving on to Abyss items. I don't recommend any, but if I had to choose something, probably Devil's Lance from an offensive perspective. You could even do Devil's Bone Sword, which would probably be better on Alvarez, but since that electrical ball is hitting 4 times, this would trigger Devil's Bone Sword for the 4th time, and boom, you do extra attack damage. So, however, it would go on better heroes. From a defensive perspective, I think that's it, man. Yeah, I think that's it. You could argue Devil's Bone Spike, but yeah, it's kind of garbage. I don't recommend Devil's Bone Spike to anyone because I don't like it. I regret that. Anyways, now when it comes to armor, I highly recommend focusing on attack / skill damage, and then the other half would be either damage reduction or HP. I think, like I said, I think he's 50-50. However, when it comes to damage reduction, remember, he's gaining a lot of damage reduction as the game goes on. So if you go to stats, my damage reduction is already at 71% due to the Spirit Song Necklace. So I don't need any damage reduction properties or attributes when it comes to the runes, when it comes to the gems, which we're going to get to, when it comes to armor. So if anything damage reduction pops up here that's a priority like this one, this shouldn't be on him. That should be on somebody else. I'll change it eventually. Okay. Now, with that being said, hopefully this all makes sense. Moving on to talents. Here we go. 100% either Precision Strike or Shadow Assaults. And then Mythic Talents, I'm 100% Weak Point. I don't think there's anything else that's better, because if you can ignore 100% of the armor, well, Hero's 50% right here, you know? So next is Transcendent Talents. I would say Wrathful Curse from an offensive perspective. From a defensive perspective, I would definitely go with probably Excess Heal, especially if you have some healing properties on the battlefield, such as, you know, Nicole or any type of defensive hero on his team that, well, heals. So I think Excess Heal would be a good defensive strategy with Pierce on X as well. And moving on to Eternal Talents, I would 100% recommend Violent Smash, simply because you got that 50% chance to do 250% of attack as bonus damage. I think that is key. I think that is clutch. I wouldn't mess around with Soul Gaze. Who wants to go 5 rounds, you know, for 50% when you can just drop bombs and roll the die, flip a quarter with Violent Smash, you know? Now, from a smaller perspective, you could go with Rapid Circulation if you have a one-hitter quitter team, as in, you know, it's Dragonic, Phoenix, and a few other, you know, super-duper paratrooper S+ heroes, and you're looking to end the game in 1 to 2 rounds, then you could go with Rapid Circulation. However, I would stick with Violent Smash on average. Okay, now finally, moving on to gems. Dude, dude, the talisman is gonna make these videos so long. Okay, here we go. So if you haven't watched the video already, make sure you watch it. The Beginner's Guide, Talisman Gem, baby. So let's go over to Merge Gem and go to Gem Codex. And I'm actually going to drop it down to 1 star, because we're all used to seeing the 1 stars, as you can see. Okay, so what would I choose? You can choose 2 lights, 2 darks, and 2 mixed. Mixed simply means you can choose light or dark, okay? So first things first, when it comes to Dragonic, now this is based on my setup with Vital, with Evolution, or Judgment, which is the attack runes, and Spring Song. I'm clearly not going to go damage reduction or anything. I'm going to go with 100% either attack or armor. I'm feeling double lights. I think Lotus Stone is perfect, 2 of them, so that's 2 slots out of 6. Moving on to the Dark Stones, what would I choose? Depending on what his armor penetration is, you could choose Makalite. I'm butchering that name, sorry about that. You could choose 2 of those, or, and depending on what his crit is, you can go with crit as well. You can go with Orchid right here. However, what I'm going to choose probably is the Crane Stone. I'm going to double up on those, simply because you get the HP, boom, because I got that 50-50 split, and then you get the skill damage. Yes, boom shakalaka, yo. Now, when it comes to the mix, I get to choose anything else but the 2 I already chose. So I think I'm probably mainly going to focus on attack. I really want to get us attack up, so I'm probably going to choose definitely Galaxy Stone twice. Yes, because you get the attack and the HP and crit resistance. I think is absolutely phenomenal for Dragonic. Okay, but in the far future, it'll take us forever to get these ranked up due to the whole Summit Clash stuff going on. So with that being said, let's look at the tutorial real quick, see what they recommend. Okay, ooh, they changed it. They made them naked. Let's go. Okay, so they recommend Icy Amulet. I completely agree. And then Devil's Claw, I completely agree as well, simply because it increases the crit and you get crit damage hit with Devil's Claw. Actually, they didn't change that. That's actually a glitch. It actually looks cooler like that. Doesn't it look cool? Just saying. Oh, man. Now, when it comes to the talents, they recommend Precision Strike, Vital Armor, Wrathless Curse, and Violent Smash. I disagree with Vital Armor because he's already getting damage reduction. And, well, not really damage reduction. It reduces the damage to the marker by 6%. I don't recommend that at all. I think you're better off going with the armor penetration one. Okay? Violent Smash, perfect. Wrathful Curse, perfect. And when it comes to recommended runes, of course, they're going with a full-on offense, armor ignoring damage through Apocalypse, and good old Sin. Completely agree. However, I would, if you have access to the Vital runes, I'd go with those / HP or Judgment. Like I said, it's all very subjective. It all depends on what you want your Dragonic to do. This series is to help guide you on what you should do. My final thoughts when it comes to Dragonic, 100% build him. I think he's an absolute must in Hero Clash, and he's one of those heroes that can take out a whole team by himself, especially if you have the correct setup. However, I do want to elaborate on runes and artifacts. I think he's a great hero to have a huge arsenal, to where depending on what the enemy does, you can sit there and pick and choose what you put on Dragonic, and you don't have him locked into, oh, only the Spirit Song necklace plus an offensive strategy. It's good to have an arsenal to where you can choose 100% defense, 100% offense in the middle, or whatever type of scenario pops up. So I think work on him if you're a free-to-play player. Work on him after Alvarez, and yeah. With that being said, I will see y'all in the next video. Greatness manifested. Mythic Plus Elite.